Good day, everybody. Welcome back to the flight deck. Today we're in Sacramento, California. We're going to be continuing our tour of the U.S. states, the lower 48, and we're flying from here in Sacramento, California, all the way over to Carson City, Nevada, capital of the state of Nevada. And this is going to begin our westward haul, and we are going to be flying up into the mountains. But it's a beautiful day again on the west coast, so it should be a good flight. So we're going to hop on board the aircraft, get her set up and ready to go. Alright, we're in the cockpit here, and we'll just go through, make sure a couple things are set the way we need them. And we'll come down here. Parking brake is on, throttle levers are in flight, idle, control lock is now on, condition levers are in shut off, flap switch is in agreement, batteries are off, wipers are off, circuit breakers are checked, weather radar is checked, and oxygen quantity and masks are checked. Weather radar is actually in up, but that is fine. So we'll pop up to the overhead and we'll start getting the aircraft up and ready to go. There's the battery. AC GenMaster, DC GenMaster are now on. Left and right battery are on. DC external power is now on. The bus tie is also closed. Generators 1 through 4 are off. Flight data recorder is in normal. ELT is now in auto. T-handles for the engine fire systems are pushed in, and fire and smoke warning tests are complete. Wipers and windshield heat are off. Airframe de-ice is off. Pitot-static heaters are off. Prop de-icing is off. Propeller temperatures are tested and good. Position light will now come on to the on position. Engine ignition is set to normal. Auxiliary fuel pumps 1 through 4 are all off. Fuel transfer is off. Tanks are closed. Engine start selector is off, and the select switch is off. Cabin pressurization is set. We are in auto mode. AC power external is off. Inverter is in left bus. AC generators 1 through 4 are off. Engine bleeds 1 through 4 are off. Air conditioning for both the cockpit and the passengers are in auto. There's a fasten seatbelt sign, no smoking sign, and emergency exit lights are armed. So we can begin passenger boarding. There we go. And we'll pop down to the glare shield. Clocks are correct. Local time is 12:33. That is good. Flight taxi switch is in taxi. GPWS is checked. Yaw damper is in normal, and guard is down. Flight directors tested. Both sides are good. Landing lights and taxi lights are all off. PFCS lights are off. Autopilot system configuration is set to captain. Caution and advisory lights. There's the caution lights are checked. Advisory lights are checked. Synchrophase is off. Anti-skid is now on. Captain side steering is off. Stall overspeed warning test. Don't do anything, so we're good there. Flight instruments are all looking good. Altimeter. We'll get our current weather. And current weather here in Sacramento. It's looking nice. It's VFR conditions. It's 17.8 degrees Celsius. There's a light 3-knot variable wind, 10 miles of visibility, and ceiling is non-existent. 3007 is the altimeter, so we'll set that in now. 3007 is set there, and we'll come over here to Roger's side, and we'll get that set in as well as he's doing the walk around. There we go. 3007 is set. All right, DMEs are now both on. I will be on DME1. Roger will be on DME2. Compass is set to slave. Hydraulic quantities are checked, and we have brake pressure. Today we're going up to 11,000 feet. It's a short flight. It's only about 100 miles. And we just got a bit of mountains to the east we've got to go over. We'll get 11,000 feet dialed in. There we go. Prop auto feather test is off. Engine intake deflectors are retracted. Engine instruments.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I would love to welcome you aboard our flight.
Are all checked and are all looking good.
Place your larger carry-on items in the overhead bins and smaller items
landing gear, mute horn.
Unless you're in the front row, please place all of your items
and the light test
work
as well. Pitch and roll handles are pushed in and locked. Weather radar is.
After you put your carry-on items in the overhead bin and it is full, make sure you close it as a courtesy
we do have
a
transponder code from the Auto ATC here in North America, so we're going to be going on 426.
In an emergency exit row, please review the
4260.
and the safety card provided for you.
4260 is the squawk we're going to be squawking out today.
If you're not, please let a flight attendant know.
Comm radios, CTAF frequency here at Sacramento is 119.5.
We ask that larger electronic devices are stowed once you
switch
depart
that over
from
there.
the gate. Thank you and welcome aboard.
9.5, and then once we're above 10,000 feet, we'll go to Unicom, which is 1228 for our cruise portion. Nav radios. We're only going through a couple of VORs today, but the first one is going to be the Hotel November Whiskey VOR of 1155. So that is now set. The second one is going to be the SWR VOR on 1132. So we'll make sure we got that set up. And we'll come over here, and 1132 will go into this one, and that's it. After that will be vectors in for the arrival. It is going to be a visual approach when we come into Carson City. So that's set up. The heading we're going to need for the VOR as we head out is going to be inbound on the 59-degree radial. So we'll come in here and get that in. There's the 59-degree radial. We're picking it up already. It's 43 miles away. Runway heading is 199, so we're going to
We're ready to go when you are.
We got that dialed in. Sounds like everybody's on board in the back. We've only got about 34 passengers today. Runway heading will be about there. Alright, flight instruments on the first officer side are all good. Roll spoiler, press switch is fine. Avionics cooling is checked. And that is set. And the parking brake is set. Throttle levers are flight idle. Control lock is engaged. Condition levers are fuel cutoff. Flaps are in agreement. Flight idle gate is out and the light is on. Autopilot yaw dampers are off. Trims are set for takeoff. And as for our clearance, we don't have to worry about that. As I said, we're on VETSIM, but there's no ATC up at the moment, so we are good there. So while we're doing that, let's just quickly take a look at our route for today. So here we are down in Sacramento. We're going to be taking off basically in the southwest heading. We're going to make a a left turn out over Elk Grove, and we're going to come back in to intercept that radial out to the HNW VOR. We're then going to fly up along this way towards the SWR VOR, crossing Lake Tahoe, south of Reno, Nevada, We're going to fly out into this valley here where we're going to do kind of follow the RNAV approach, but it's going to be done as a visual, and we're going to come down this way, landing on runway 27 at Carson City. So that is the planned route for today. We can now go to the back of the aircraft and close the door. And we'll head up front. So before engines start, takeoff data and speeds confirmed. We're going to be rotating at about 92 knots. Doors and windows are closed. Anti-collision light will go red.
Nevada. Our flight time will be roughly
Parking brake is on and pressures are good. And once again, flight idle, fuel cut off. And DC generators are all coming on now for all 4 engines.
If you have not already, please fasten your seatbelt and verify it is
so we are ready for engine start. Quick look outside, and we are clear around.
Flight attendants, please prepare cabin for departure and cross-check.
And let me just bring up that. Sacramento aerial traffic. Allegheny 32 engine start at the gate. Alright, we're going to be starting 3, 4, 2, 1. So we'll select engine number 3, clear 3. Start switch is engaged. We have rotation. We're waiting for our NG to come up to 20%. There she is. Engine 3 fuel on. And there we go with the engine firing up.
Terminated. Please fasten your seatbelt low and tight across your lap.
Once this reaches 70%, we can turn off the starter and start engine number 4.
To release your seatbelt, lift the upper portion of the buckle.
There we go.
We suggest that you keep your seatbelt fastened throughout the flight.
Starter off, selecting engine number 4, clear 4.
There are several emergency exits on this aircraft. To familiarize yourself with the emergency exits on this aircraft, please refer to the safety card in the seat back pocket in front of you. In some cases, your nearest exit might be behind you. If we need to evacuate the aircraft, there is lighting on the floor to guide you towards the exit. In the event of a loss of cabin pressure, an oxygen mask
20%.
will drop in front of you. Start the flow of oxygen, pull the mask towards you, and place it firmly over your nose
fuel.
and mouth. Secure the elastic band behind the head and tighten the straps if necessary. And don't worry if the bag
Here she is
doesn't
coming up.
inflate. Oxygen is flowing to the mask, and you can breathe normally.
And once again, when
If
she
you're
reaches
traveling with
into
children,
the green,
now's
which
the
is
time to use
70%,
favorite
we'll be able
one.
to
But
shut off the
secure your
starter
mask and then assist others.
and
Keep your
switch
mask
over
on
to
until a
engine
member
number
of the crew
2.
advises you it's safe to remove it. In the unlikely event of a water landing, a life vest is located in a pouch under your seat
There
or
we
between
go.
the armrest. When instructed to do so, open the plastic pouch and remove the vest.
Starting
Push it
engine
over
number
your
2.
head. Wrap the straps around your waist and buckle at the front. Pull the straps tight. To inflate the vest, pull firmly on the red cord only when exiting the aircraft. If it doesn't inflate automatically, you may blow into the mouth.
There's
to
our
use
rotation.
manual inflation. This vest is equipped with a whistle and a light. If you need to, your seat cushion can be used as a secondary listening device. Please make sure to exit the aircraft as soon as possible.
And we're
with
into
your belongings.
20%, adding
Once again,
fuel.
all devices must be in airplane mode and your larger devices must be turned off and stowed at this time. Please securely stow your personal items. Make sure your seatbelts are fastened and seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position. We remind you that this is a non-smoking flight. Tampering with, disabling, or destroying the smoke detectors located in the lavatories is prohibited by law. All of this information can be found in the safety card located in the seat back in front of you. Please read it and let a cabin member know if you have any questions. Thank you for flying with us again, and we hope you enjoy your flight.
And starter off over to number 1. Starting engine number 1. There's 20%, adding fuel. Almost there. And there is 70%. So engine start selector, our engine start switch is disengaged. So emergency brakes are in park. Start selector is now off. DC power, external power is turned off. DC volts and load are checked. We'll switch over to generator number 1 on engine 1. That's looking good. Battery temps are looking good. AC generators are now coming online. Engine bleeds for all 4 engines will go to low. Flight directors are now on both sides. BFCS lights are off. A prop auto feather is solid green. Engine intake deflectors are retracted. We're on a paved runway, so it's not going to be an issue. Engine instruments are all checked. They are all looking good and coming up in line. Engine 1 is almost equal to the others. That is good. Hydraulic quantity and pressures are up all across. Weather radar is we've already checked that. Flaps going 15 for takeoff. Flight controls, control lock is off. There's full forward, full back, left, right, and rudders are good. Flight controls are checked. Elevator trim set for takeoff. Yaw damper is now on. De-ice pressure is over on FO side. That's checked. Ground equipment and chocks have been removed. Condition levers for 1 and 4 are now going to maximum RPM. Steering is good. We have our clearance to leave. Hey, Mark Airsoft, hello. And we are good to taxi out. So we're going to be taxiing out, do a little bit of a left turn and a jog out here, all the way down to taxiway Mike. We're going to head up to the end, and we're going to be departing off in that direction and making that left turn as mentioned. So we'll get the taxi light on and make our call. Sacramento area traffic, Allegheny 32 at the terminal, taxiing runway 20 via Bravo, Mike, holding short of 201 Mike. Alright, so manual brakes are set, cabin is ready to go. We'll roll out now. Go. We're going to make this turn here. And we're coming out here, leaving Sacramento and leaving California. From now on, we're going to be heading eastwards as we hop across the states in the southern U.S. Of course, today's destination, Carson City, Nevada. Far end, just keeping that speed under control. I'm going to cross over runway. I guess with the winds today it'd be 1-2. That is coming up. This is an old disused runway. I think they use it now as a taxiway, but this runway is no longer in use. 1-2 here. It's only 3,800 feet, used for small aircraft like Cessnas and stuff. But we're going to take this one all the way up to the end. And we'll hold short at the far end. We're clear on both sides. So, brakes have been tested, steering is checked, engine and flight instruments are all looking good, and flaps are confirmed that they are in the proper position. And set for 15 for takeoff. Come around to the hold line. brakes on. So, moving up top, windshield heat will go to warm up. Pitot-static heaters will all come on. Engine bleeds are on low for all 4 engines. Ignition is set to normal on all 4 engines. Auxiliary fuel pumps 1 through 4 now coming on for takeoff. Flight taxi spoiler switch is set to flight. Ground spoilers have deployed. Auto feather set cell green. Engine intake deflectors are retracted. Control lock has been removed. Condition levers for all 4 engines now coming up to maximum RPM and are set. Flaps are checked. 15 degrees for takeoff. Flight controls have been checked. Elevator trim is set for takeoff. Caution lights are good. And cabin is ready to go. Transponder, I'm gonna have to school around a little bit to get it, is now on, and in mode C it's 24260. Weather radar is off, landing lights are on, anti-collision light will go to white, and strobe lights are now on. Sacramento area traffic, Allegheny 32, take position, runway 20, Sacramento. Alright, approach is clear. Make our turn. Ground spoilers will be up until our engine RPM reaches a certain point. That's fine. There we are. We are lined up and ready to go. Alright, we're lined up. Brakes are set. All 4 engines are maximum RPM. Engine intake deflectors are retracted. Power coming up to 3200. Ground spoilers are closed. Auto feather is armed. Engines coming up to full power. Engine full power is set. Brakes released. Sacramento area traffic, Allegheny 32, rolling runway 20, departure to the northeast. Airspeed's live, 70 knots. It's 95 knots, back pressure. There we go. Positive rate, gear up. It's 200 feet. We're going to trim down slightly, get to about a 125 airspeed, and then we'll go into indicated airspeed mode. There's through 500 feet. Flaps coming up. Nose coming down for that. IS hold. And there's 1,000 feet. So we're going to now turn to intercept that radial. Now, it's probably going to be a low power one, so we're going to have to be within about 30-35 miles. It is, so we should pick it up shortly. We're not quite getting it yet. There's the airport we just took off from. And there's 2,000 feet. So we're going to set climb power now. Alright, so we're going to bring the engines back to 3,500. There we go. We're going to bring the props down to 107. Somewhere in that area. It's pretty close. And then we're going to bring the engines to 4,400 RPM, or on the torque. This takes a little bit of finessing. There we go. Somewhere about there. Alright, cruise power is set, landing gear is confirmed up, flaps are confirmed up, engine intake deflectors are still retracted, flight idle gate is in and lights are out, taxi light is now off, synchrophase doesn't work, that's fine, ignition is all on normal, fuel pumps, auxiliary fuel pumps will now come off. Engine bleeds are on low, and cabin pressurize is as expected. Alright, so we're still not picking up the VOR, but that's fine. I know roughly where I am. So we're just going to fly out a little further. Oh, I know why it's not picking it up. Set VOR on the gauges. There we go. We are picking it up. Do have the numbers there, that's fine. Once that comes in and it matches in line, we'll switch over to nav mode and we'll fly the VOR in. And as mentioned, we're only going up to 11,000 feet today. Now, Reno approach has come online, but we're not flying into Reno. So we're not going to have to worry about him. It's 5,000 feet. And again, we're just watching those engines. They're going to come back slightly on the power as we get higher. So we'll just keep nudging them forward on the throttles. Close it in. Let's just pick up the VOR radial we're on. There we go. We'll make our turn inbound. You can see the mountains ahead that we're heading towards. It's off in the distance there. We're 34 miles out from the next VOR, which is right on the edge of the mountains. And Sacramento executive area traffic, Allegheny 32, climbing through 6,100, departing northeast, last call for Sacramento executive. Alright, that's where we just left, and as I mentioned, we are heading into Carson City. Runway length at Carson City is 6,100 feet, but the airport elevation is at 4,700 feet. So we're going to be landing at about 90 knots. But it shouldn't be too much of a deal. We are coming onto that radial now. Flying over Sacramento.
There's like 4 decent-sized airports around here and a couple smaller ones on the periphery. So a lot of air traffic in this area, but we are heading out towards the mountains, and we're going to cross on, I believe those are the Cascade Mountains. We're going to head over and into Nevada. And as mentioned, we're only going up to 11,000 feet for today's flight. And minimum safe altitude for the area we're going to be going through is about 11,000 feet. So we should be okay. Just looking at some of the peaks we'll be going over around 6,000 feet. So it's a little bit higher. What's this one? We do have an 8,000, but we'll be above it, and we have visual flight conditions, so we'll be all right. 27 miles out. So as we pass 8,000 feet, we're going to go altitude select, so we capture our 11,000 foot altitude. We're not picking up the next VOR yet. That as well is a low power, I believe. We're just going to go check. It is, so it'll be another one about 35 miles or so out. We should get it as we come up to the first one here. See some of the views, the little town of Foley and Corley out here. There's Sacramento behind. Pacific Ocean on the California coast there. 9,000 feet, 2,000 feet to go. So today we're cruising at 11,000 feet. So our power setting for our intermediate cruise is going to be 420 pounds per fuel per hour. So we will set that once we're into cruise. Everything is looking good on the overhead. It's 10,000 feet, landing lights can come off, and we'll release the seat belts in the back.
Gentlemen, we have now passed 10,000 feet, so you may turn on larger portable electronic devices. This is also a reminder to please keep your seatbelt fastened throughout the duration of the flight and do not form a line near the lavatories.
As per normal, we have no IFE or anything on board. So it's newspapers, magazines, books, and whatever else you would enjoy to keep yourself busy. There's the mountains coming up. It's 11,000 feet. It's almost here. We are in altitude capture. I'm 17 miles out from the VOR.
Ladies and gentlemen, due to the short duration of this flight, we will not be able to offer in-flight service.
So as we level off at 11,000 feet, we're going to come down now, and we'll take a look at our fuel gauges. Let's see if we get a, not sure if we got a closer look programmed in here. No, we don't. We're going to come down and look at our fuel gauges. We want to go to 420. It's 420, so we're currently at 460. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull back on the engines until we get them down to 420. And that is our fuel to the engines. You can see all four engines are set now to 420 pounds per hour. And that is our cruise power setting set. And with a little bit of wind we got, we're a nice 204 knots, 206 knots, so we're making some good time across the ground now. 12 miles out, at 10 miles, we'll switch over to heading hold, and we'll set up for the next VOR. We're still not picking it up. Confirm it is 1132, and 1132 is set, so we'll just have to wait a little bit longer to pick it up, but we'll fly outbound to that VOR on a heading of 22 degrees, and that will take us in that direction. So that's us through 10 miles. We're going to switch over to heading hold. We're going to come down now, and we will going to select 113-2, and that puts it into there, and that now switches us over. We're going to dial in that 22 degrees, and that is the direction and the radial we're going to want. So when it does kick in, it will be there. Now, coming off of there, we're going to be heading off on the 75-degree radial to take us outbound in the direction we want to go, roughly. So we're going, just kicked in there. We're going to come over here, and we're going to set the 75-degree radial on this side, just so we can see it kick over when we get close. There we go. So you can see it's 44 miles away, and we are closing in on that line. And once again, when we get there and it lines up, we will dial over and follow that radial. Still only got approach control up at Reno, but we shouldn't be talking to him since we're not going in there. And speaking of which, we'll just check out what traffic is expected into Carson City, and it is just us. So we're almost down to that radial. So the way the VORs work is they send signals out on every compass heading, every degree. So we've told it we want to fly in on the 22 degree. So if you take the VOR point, draw a line 22 degrees out, and back through the other side, that's the one we want, and we want to be flying in towards that radial, which is what will happen here. It's pointing, the little arrow is pointing to. So we're going to fly to the VOR, and then we'd go out the other side on the 22 degree radial. And there we are. So we're going to hit nav mode, and we'll now make our turn towards the radial as we come up over the mountains. Texturing and weather effects are all being done by Rex AccuSeasons Advanced. And it is loaded in for the end of March, so I don't know if you saw in Sacramento, a couple of the plants were starting to bloom. We're all looking good. So we're heading inbound now, and you can see on this side, there's the other radial that we want to be heading outbound on when we get there. And that will show as we get closer to that radial where it is. But everything is good so far. We're doing 219 knots, getting a good push now. just realigning ourselves and getting ourselves back on the beam. And we're looking good. Some nice views of the mountains and the snow-capped peaks off in the distance on the higher elevations. And of course, we're going to be flying over the famous Lake Tahoe. We'll be up at the north end, but we'll be able to see the lake. Checking our fuel burns are all correct. They are 220 knots ground speed, which is good. All our flight planning is done at 200 knots. So we're gonna have to watch our altitude as we come in. We are crossing over mountains before we commence. We're gonna have to watch our elevations. We got some 8,000 foot, 7,500 foot. So we're gonna be flying out over some mountains and then descending down fairly steep as we come in for this approach. It's going to end up being more or less a visual approach, but we will use the RNAV as an indicator of where we are. It gives us some elevation and altitude clues as well. So we're 29 miles out. Turbulence isn't bad. Winds are pretty light. We can take a look. Let me pull up the winds. About 20 knots. Almost a direct tailwind where we are. So we're getting a nice push. We'll end up with a bit of a crosswind on landing, but won't be too bad. So if you're watching this and you have not subscribed, please consider hitting the subscribe button. Helps the channel, helps us keep growing and bringing Flight Sim to more and more people. If you wouldn't mind hitting the like button as well, that would be great. You can hit the bell, get some notifications about when videos and live streams come up. And if you want to fly with us, all my live streams, such as this one, are community flights. If you're got an airplane that would match in and you want to fly with us, you can come over to the Discord. I'll get the chat to put it up. And you can also find the link in the description. But you can get the information about what we're flying, when and where, and you can come along. Join us on these flights. We're currently flying Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 19:30 Zulu hours. And you can join us on these flights. So this VOR that's coming up is up in the mountains, actually, which is a rather interesting place to have one, but we're picking it up, so it's got to have some line of sight. 19 miles out. We are looking good. First Officer Molly is sitting in the back in the crew rest area, having a snooze. Getting a little bit of turbulence now. You can see us starting to bounce around slightly. You can see Lake Tahoe there, off in the distance. We're going to put the seatbelts back on just because it is starting to bounce around a little bit. Oh, Mr. Sherry 143, welcome. Thanks for dropping in. Hope you're doing well. Just ding in the back. Let them know we got someone. We're not going to be that far off the ground here, only a couple thousand feet as we come over, as we're not going up that high. Just keeping an eye now. We're coming up on Reno. Hello, Rania. Thanks for dropping in. So we want to, we're going to be flying outbound on that roughly 075. So we're going to put our heading indicator in that rough position. It's going to be more of a visual, as I mentioned, as we head in, but we will be, we'll be working around the RNAV charts as little indicators for altitude and stuff like that, but definitely into the snow-covered peaks. That is Lake Tahoe, and of course the famous Lake Tahoe Airport and everything's down at the south end. And Reno, Nevada is up that way. Carson City is the capital of Nevada, which is why we're going there. And yes, we are going to be heading down to Las Vegas on Friday on the next flight. So we'll get to see it all in its glory, although it will be daytime. Alright, so we're just watching here. We're 6.5 miles out. So we're not intercepting another VOR, but we are going to use the heading mode to turn onto that heading, and then we'll put in, let's go with 68 degrees, and we'll fly that outbound. We are rocking and rolling slightly with the turbulence here off the mountains. That's not bad. So we should be passing over this way, south of these bigger hills here. And we're 3 miles out. As soon as we get the swing on the needles, we'll switch over into heading mode. And as I mentioned, 68 degrees, so that'll be about there. There's 1.5 miles. So the VOR is down just in front of us. You're probably up on this hill here. There we go, there's the swing. So we're going to go into heading mode. And we're going to want 68 degrees. Flying outbound. We have overflown the VOR. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn our heading slightly south, and this will bring us back into intercept. Guys, can you keep it to English in the chat, please? I need to see what's being typed there. Airfield down in the valley here. And we're just going to wait until that it's slowly starting to come in. We'll pick up with that and intercept it. Guys, don't want to time you out in the chat, but let's keep it in English. If we don't, if I don't see that, I'm going to have to take some action. There you go. There's Lake Tahoe, surrounded by the mountains here. So we're going to be going over these couple ridges, and Carson City's on the other side. That's us back at the radial. Turn onto it now. We're basically going to go between the low point here, and there's the higher mountains. We're going to head off this way, and we will start looking at where we are going to be heading. I want to hit the little sim freeze there. I want to hit there's another lake here. I want to cross the southern part of the lake, just on this side over here of these hills, and then that will take us into the lower ground. Get us ready for our approach and arrival. So we're going to be flying past the city. Go into heading mode here just because we're not getting the direction we want. Okay. I did warn you guys. English only, please. There's that lake ahead of us. We're going to come over down into here. And Carson City is actually just down over here. You might even be able to see the airport. But we're going to be coming in for our approach down through this valley here. And landing in. Keep on this direction. We'll be turning up at the far end. We're going to loop around the Dayton Valley Airport, heading in towards the main one here. So there's the actual airport. So we're going to come down this way through the valley, and then we'll be making a right turn and landing. We got to get out here first so we can do our descent. It's 4,500 foot elevation, so we are looking at 4,700 foot, so call it 5,000. We're only looking at a 6,000 foot descent, so we should be clear to descend down once we come through the hills here. We're going to pass by and head out the other way, and as I mentioned, we'll be making that turn as we descend down. Just gotta keep an eye on the hills. Almost to beam the airport. once we get over this patch of hills here, we can start our descent downwards. So 6,700 feet will be our initial target altitude. And once we're down at the airport, it's going to be a left-hand departure off of the runway. .26 knots, still getting that good push. And current altimeter here at Carson City as we get ready to descend 3009. Dial that in. That's 2 notches and 2 notches. So descent prep, we have our weather. Winds are 230, 10 to 16, kind of variable across 210 to 270. So we're going to have a left-hand crosswind, 18 degrees, clear, no ceiling, 10 miles of visibility. Fuel quantity is checked and everything is good. Fuel transfers are all off. Transition altimeters are set to local. And we are pretty much ready to descend. So we're going to set 6,700 feet as our initial. And we're going to pull power. Carson City area traffic, Allegheny 32, 5 miles to the northeast, leaving 11,000 feet inbound for the visual runway 27, Carson City. So we're holding, we're going to hold that 150 speed. We're letting her bleed back. It's 150, and down we go.
We have begun our final descent into Nevada. Flight attendants will be passing through the cabin to collect any trash one final time. Please ensure tray tables are stowed and seats are in the full upright position. Please also store any carry-on items
We're
either
actually
in the
going to want to go
seatback pocket or
down
under the seat
to
in front of you.
about 1,000 feet per minute. There we go. So more about there. And we can now make our right turn. Put our landing lights on. Those are on. Make sure they're aware. So I'm going to go about 200 degrees. What about 180 for the initial intercept? The course we want. And again, this is going to be a visual arrival. There's the valley we're going to fly down. About a 208. So we're going to fly by this airfield and then head up this way a little bit.
flaps 15. Start slowing up the airplane and also getting her down a little bit more. About a 5-mile run to the next turn. I'm going to turn to 240. And it's a 5-mile run in from there. So we're going to start killing this speed. We are way high. So engine's coming fully forward. Flaps 25. And this is going to be a weird one. We're gonna come down and intercept on a angle. All right, so I'm going to go to manual mode. Autopilot is confirmed off. Gear down. Lights are on. Now we're going to make a turn at the end for the airfield. I think that is it right there. Flaps full. Still got a bit to go. There's the airfield. Interesting approach. We are pretty low over the power lines, but this is the way it brings us in. Alright, so the airport runway should be in the middle of those three lines. Gear down 3 green, flaps full. Making our turn now. A little low coming in on the approach. Crosswind from the left. Nose down. Here we go.
Gentlemen, welcome to Nevada. The local time is 1:36
right.
p.m. and it's
Well, we made her
currently
down.
about 64 degrees Fahrenheit. You can now use your mobile devices. Please remain
Didn't even make my
seated until
calls.
the air traffic comes to a
Didn't even switch over the
stop
frequency.
and the seatbelt sign is turned off. Remember to use caution when opening the overhead bins as items may have shifted during the flight. We thank you for flying with us.
All right, so we're gonna get off here at Alpha 4 and then head over. It's 1230 actually. Oh, let's go. Carson City area traffic, Allegheny 32, clear runway 27 at Alpha 4, taxiing to the apron. Alright, flaps up. Landing lights off, taxi light on. There's the terminal. And we're just going to park her up right here. All right, we'll bring the other engine back into shut them off, but that's fine. Alright, so anti-collision light to red, strobes are off. That's all good. Inflate deflectors, heat's off. And transponder will go off as well. So parking brake is on, taxi light is off. Power levers are back, engines are shut down, control levers, DMEs are off. Steering is good, anti-collision light will come off, position lights off. Passenger signs are good, external lights are off, AC generators off, batteries, DC gens, batteries. External power is connected. We'll swing around to the back and open the door. Excellent. So there we go. Welcome to Carson City, Nevada. Looks like a very nice place with a very interesting arrival. Thanks for coming along. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one. We're back Friday, and we are flying from here down to Las Vegas. See you then. Bye for now.